guys, how's it going? So today I'm just working in the garden. I'm going to do a little bit of planting right here kind of by our kitchen flower bed area and then in front of our chicken coop. Probably some general garden maintenance, whatever I come across. Just kind of a nice day out today. It was supposed to be, well, it's still supposed to be like 93 or 94 degrees, but it's just beautiful out here this morning. There's like a slight coolness to the air, a little bit of a breeze. In fact, we had a huge wind come through last night. I started setting plants out here last night, didn't get around to planting them, and then that wind came through and I knew they would all just be laying flat today, so I didn't even attempt to come out and set them up back up last night. So this is where I'm going to start here. Aaron was busy inside doing something, but he said he wanted to come out and kind of work with me today, which is really nice. I'll get a lot more done, I'm sure. So this is where we're at right here. You can see this big area that hasn't been planted yet, and it's interesting because this area gets a lot of overspray from the grass sprinklers. I mean, you can see how saturated it is. So I think I'm going to come in with some caladiums that tend to like to be moist. I think that'll be a really good look right here. But I've got a lot of other things more toward the back of this bed that just haven't grown to their mature size yet. So a lot of times what I like to do is plant annuals in between those sorts of things just to fill in a little space, add a little bit more color and texture. Like if I move this way, you can see the incredible hydrangeas. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in this bed. There's some that are nicely shaped in size, but I planted, a lot of these were smashed and damaged from the garden center, and I knew they would recuperate, but it would just take some time. So like this one, I think was the worst of all of them, and it's really doing well, but it's not quite as thick as the others, which is okay. But see, I've got a lot of space in here, which sometimes it's good to leave the space, and I might leave this open. I may not, I don't know. I started laying the Wicked Witch Coleus out, and I think it's going to be such a good look in here, kind of between the lemon zest roses and the Incredibles. Maybe I'll pop a couple more in here just to provide some contrast. I think that would be good. And this area has always been kind of a mishmash. Like I've never really planned to have a lot of one thing to plant in this area. So I just, like last year I planted some Ridiculous Coleus that was gorgeous. In fact, I think it was in the background of several videos, and I took some pictures of it, so we'll throw that up on the screen if we can find it. But it was a really beautiful bright spot over here, but I do like to change it up a little bit sometimes and do something different. So I think the Wicked Witch will bring that depth of color in here while not being, like the Ridiculous really shines and it really wants to be the star of the flower bed, which sometimes is awesome. I have some up in another area, like really nearby over here. But sometimes you want something to be beautiful and full and colorful, but not just like, you know what I mean, like in your face. So the other things I have going on in this area is a hedge of Munstead lavender. There's the 5 lemon zest, the, what did I say, 7 Incredibles. There is a Winecraft black smoke bush. And then I do have some poppies in here that don't look great. They're like all flopped over and weird, but I'm letting them, I want them to seed themselves around. So I'm just gonna leave them alone and we'll just have to deal with the appearance for a little while. So I'm just gonna work on setting things out in this area. And then I think Aaron was gonna come out and he wanted to dig all the holes with the auger, which is fine by me. That will save me and my back. Okay, so I realize this looks insane. So many plants, but it's going to be so pretty. And I'm just so happy because I've never planned this area out. I usually only use leftover plants I have from other projects. So it's always a mishmash of things and nothing ever really suitable for this really wet area. So like last year I put Supertunias in here and they just languished because it was so wet. They did it, but they weren't as glorious as they could be. So I think these caladiums are going to be an excellent experiment. You do have to space them fairly close together if you want them to be a solid look, which I do. I want them to be just this solid, beautiful drift of foliage. And they kind of tuck in behind our hose right here. I mean, there's just such a menagerie of stuff in here in terms of the, you know, what we need in order to water. So I didn't put them close to the box, like close enough to where it's going to impede our ability to get to those boxes. But I do hope that they kind of grow over a little bit just to shroud them a little. We are planning on painting these lids at some point. Next layer is the Icicles Helichrysum, which grow about 16 inches tall, so that'll be my next level. And they grow, I think, like 18 to 20 inches wide. I spaced them fairly close because, again, I want them to be thick. So it'll be this thick icy blue ribbon through here. And then the next layer is meteor shower verbena, which they got so wind whipped last night. They were so dry this morning. So I did water them. They will perk back up, and they'll just be my, like, I think they grow anywhere between 18 and 30 inches. Hold on, let me look. 20 to 30 inches. So that will be my next layer that kind of intermingle with the existing things that are here. I think the purple looks really pretty with the yellow roses. And then the Wicked Witch coleus start over here, and they kind of curve around in between the hydrangeas. I love the look from this angle in particular. If you look out across this bed, oh my word, it's gonna be so pretty. And then I ended up having enough to bring a couple up here to fill in between these hydrangeas so that this bed has a unified look to the end. I also brought a couple things up to plant in those containers and to keep it very simple. Yeah, now I need to see where Aaron's at. Like, I kind of knew what I was gonna be putting in this area, but now that I'm looking at how many plant cans are here, I'm really thankful Aaron wanted to help. I don't think he knows what he's in for. Here he comes. You have to start taking in the flower bed from about the very end.
Looks really good. Hydrangeas look good.
They do, don't they?
Roses look good. Whoa!
Do you regret offering your help?
Oh my goodness.
Won't that be awesome though?
Yeah. Wow. How many plants is this?
Do you think that that's too insane?
No, it'll be fun.
I like your attitude. Okay, so here's my thought process, Aaron. I just kind of went through, I like did a little pre-tour before we planted, but the caladiums only get 8 to 10 inches wide, so it really does take quite a number of them to create like a thick look. And then the helichrysum will be my really bold, I mean, caladiums are bold, but the helichrysum really shines, the icy blue. So 10 inches, 16 inches, 20 to 30 inches, and then 2 to 3 feet with the coleus in the back.
Let's do it.
Okay. Okay, I want to give you a little pre-mulch tour. This whole area is beautiful, don't you think? Lavender, the hydrangeas, the boxwood hedges, and this is Midnight Masquerade penstemon. It's amazing. I've got a clematis in this container with superbells, corallina, and the lamiums in full bloom. We've got a tater tot arb there. It's just so pretty, all the layers, and I think it's going to be gorgeous once these annuals fill in. So we've got a Wicked Witch there, and then around these hydrangeas. I really like this view from right here. You can see all the layers, like the hydrangea, the coleus, the roses. There's some stalk right in here, white stalk, and I can smell it. It smells kind of clovish. Of course, the lavender I can smell as well. And then you can see the meteor shower of verbena kind of rising above all of this. The icicles kind of like just shines back in there. And then the layer of caladium. Oh, it's gonna be so gorgeous, especially after mulch, because when you use the auger with wet soil, this is kind of what it looks like afterward. I mean, this is what this soil is like all the time. Like, I could throw a pot with this soil right here. So this is our before shot right here. Coleus comes all the way back here, and then the icicles there, and then the caladiums kind of crawl all the way back behind the hose. And I love that Aaron came out here and helped me with the auger. He told me while he was doing it that if that auger was $100, he would pay for it and it would be worth it. And I think he's right. It makes the job so much faster. Okay, so now I'm gonna head to the pots up there and we're gonna get those planted. So I've got lemon cypress in those right now. That's what was in here this spring. I had the white, what I have in there? White ranunculus and, how come I can't remember? Oh, blue pansies, for crying out loud. The lemon cypress look awesome. I'm going to tip this one a little bit, see how it's kind of been wind blown to the side, leaning to the left there. I think I'm gonna go in with some caladiums. Now I can't remember the name of this one. We'll put it on the screen, but isn't it neat? Actually kind of looks like Christmas to me. Like if Christmas was a plant. There it is. And then this is a new white begonia right here. I think this one will be new next year. We'll also put the name up on the screen because I'm so prepared right now with all my plant knowledge. But I think that those will be beautiful, kind of a nice dark leaf, bold. And then my trailer is going to be the Glacier Ivy. Those turned out beautiful. I did a little switch with the Caladiums. Instead of using the one that had red in the leaves, I swapped it out for one called Snowdrift. Isn't that gorgeous? I really like that. I think the red was kind of clashing with the chartreuse color, and I think all the white tones really make it look peaceful. So we've got 3 of the Snowdrifts, 4 of the Glacier Ivies, and 3 of the white begonia. I always love this monochromatic look, every single time. So I still do need to water these in. After I do that, I am going to replace some coleus that got damaged in a windstorm. So you can see those 4 Golden Dreams. I had this whole area planted up with Golden Dreams coleus already, and that windstorm just popped them all off, all 4 of those, off at ground level. And I'm hoping that these survive because we do have another big windstorm. It looks like gonna come through tomorrow afternoon. It happens on a Friday night every single time. And it's going to go from 94 down to 67. The next day's high is 67 and rainy, which usually means we get a great big windstorm, followed by a couple more days of like wind, on and off wind, and maybe a little bit of sputtering rain. That's like just been our weekend routine. So we'll see how this goes. Gotta give the container a good cleaning the first time I water it in too. We're getting our house painted next spring. It needs it so bad. Much better. Now they just need to fill in this area. So this is the next area I want to work on. I want to put some plants in this spot right here and then right in front of the chicken coop as well. This whole area is coming along so beautifully. I love how the cottage garden on this side that we did that video of is kind of spilling over the pallet walkway, and it's just so gorgeous. This is the cat's pajama nepeta, planted last year. It has been blooming for weeks and weeks already, and look at the honeybees. I don't know if you can see them all, but it is just loaded with honeybees. So it makes me really happy to have it repeated there and also on the other side there. I'm gonna be mostly focusing on annuals in this area because I want some bright color, but I do need to move this out of our way first. I decided real quick to take after this tree and raise the canopy a bit. After we had our storm last weekend, oh my goodness, it just weighed so many branches down. I really need to go around the whole property and do this so that we can like get a vehicle underneath it or walk beneath a tree and have it be a comfortable distance. So anyway, there's the aftermath. I just kind of went around the whole canopy and lightened it up a little bit. Well, this is going to look gorgeous, I think. This side, I've got a purple fountain grass that's already massive right in the center, and I'm surrounding that with plain the blue salvia and perfectly pink angelonia. So the plain the blue salvia will get quite tall, 24 to 48 inches, and it definitely gets on the higher end of that height scale for me traditionally. And then the angelonia is 18 to 30 inches, so we'll have a nice little height variation in here. So taller plain the blues, and then this will be our next layer. and then Supertunia Mulberry Charm, which I love. I love this plant. I think it is so sweet. It's like a little mini Bordeaux. And then on this side, I repeated some of what you just saw. I've got Supertunia Mulberry Charm around the outer portion. I've got Plain the Blue Salvia in there as well, but the difference here is I did put some sun credibles in here. I think it'll look super sweet to have some sunflowers coming up in there, and those get up to, usually mine last year grew 3 to 4 feet. So there'll be a really nice size in the back there. There is a Miss Violet Buddleia that will start blooming here fairly soon. It's got buds all over on it, which is fun. And then I've got Bright Lights White Osteospermum, so a nice little swoop of that. And then right over here, I repeated just one of the Angelonia to kind of fill in this area. And then I didn't want to put too many Angelonias in here because of the pink in the window basket, which I've got Super Bell's Strawberry Punch and the Scaevola Whirlwind Pink with the boxwoods there. So I put some Going Bananas Daylilies. So I did work one perennial into this area. I'm trying to be better about doing that, but I do think this grassy texture is going to be really nice here, and I think the little bright pop of yellow will be nice as well, nice against the white building. And here's the view from this area. So now we plant. And here it is all planted. Not mulched yet, but planted. So this is the before shot. And then we'll give you updates throughout the season as it fills in, of course. But I think the colors are gonna be really nice in this spot. That bright pop of yellow with the sunflowers. You know, these Oh So Easy, they're peachy cream roses. I really love the color, and they just got through with their first huge bloom push. And they're starting to bud up again. So I'm sure we're gonna get blooms all throughout the season, so it'll be a nice peachy color. And then the blue salvia. And what's Russell, what are you doing? Russell, what are you doing? Oh, there's something in there. Oh my goodness, yes there is. What in the world? There's some kind of animal run. Oh, well, isn't that interesting? That can't be a gopher because it didn't make a big mess. Time to get your hunt on, buddy. Anyway, it's just gonna be a really kind of fun, full, free looking area. And then this looks really pretty too. I like kind of all the complementary colors in here, kind of the soft pinks and blues, purples, really nice. And you might notice that I use the Bright Lights White Osteos in the pots as well as the Supertunia, same thing, so that it would, the whole area would kind of tie together. And there's a look from this direction right here. Kind of pan over. Also got the first area mulched, so I have to show you that really quick before we're done today. Doesn't that look awesome? So much better when there's a fresh layer of mulch. Everything looks nice and tidy and clean. I love that look. I mean, we won't be able to see the mulch for that long because I'm guessing these plants will, with the heat that we're getting now, will just start pushing a lot of growth really fast, but it looks good right now. Oh, I love it. And that's pretty much it for today's video. I actually thought when I set out to do the projects today that I'd be doing more maintenance and less planting, and it kind of ended up being the reverse, which is totally fine. It's always nice to get those bare spots filled in, especially now. Like, I mean, still planting annuals in June, that's pretty late for me, but you know, the more I get planted in the ground, the less weeds we'll have because they'll grow and help smother out the weeds, and really the more pretty things we have to look at. So I have a few more areas in the garden to fill up. Not many at this point, a couple more containers yet to do, and then of course our new formal garden, not formal, cut flower garden up in the front. We have a ton to do up there. So we'll be busy all season long, just refining stuff, like just helping areas come along and grow and hopefully turn into something pretty. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.